I'm in love.
Oh my gosh.
So let's just
You're
say,
really in love?
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wait. Okay.
But
Oh my
but
gosh.
that's all I'm gonna
Okay,
say.
okay.
Here, you see how big he's getting? I love it though. I know, I love it. I know. Now you want to have another one, right? I want to have a girl.
Y'all, listen to this. Cory Hardrict is low-key spiraling right now after a nanny came out with claims that Tamara might be pregnant by her new man. And hold up, it's not just a regular rumor, they're saying twins. Now somehow, Cory is getting dragged right back into the situation like he's still part of it. Girl, it's like that divorce never even went down.
Yeah, I know. You will probably go through this too, but once they get bigger, you kind of have everybody asking, so when you're gonna have the next child, are you gonna have another child? Until the pregnancy rumor started a few weeks ago.
And I'm not even gonna lie. Hold up. The timeline alone has the internet giving major side-eye right now. Because the second those photos dropped of Tia holding hands, kissing that younger guy, and looking way too happy like she'd been waiting on that moment, people didn't just react. They started putting pieces together real quick. And what makes it even messier is Cory already told us how that breakup hit him. He admitted he was crying himself to sleep for over a year.
They're going through something alone and no one understands and no one's there for you and it's just like when you're a man, especially a black man, they're like, oh, he's tough, he's strong, but it was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night. Nobody see that.
So now, seeing Tia out in public, glowing, smiling, and maybe even stepping into a whole new life, yeah, people are starting to look at Cory like, was he really the one left behind in all of this? But before we even dive too deep into Cory's side, we have to break down how this whole shift even started in the first place, because this didn't just come out of nowhere. Tia had already been laying low-key breadcrumbs for months, dropping subtle hints and quiet clues, never enough to confirm anything, but always just enough to keep people guessing. Like that one post where she showed her shoes next to someone else's, white Converse sitting right beside white Air Force Ones, and that caption about stopping to smell the roses. At the time, everybody was still trying to make it make sense, thinking maybe it's Cory, maybe they're working things out, or maybe she's just staying private. But looking back now, it's clear that wasn't Cory at all. That was somebody new the entire time. And the way she kept it hidden, that wasn't confusion. That was calculated. Because the moment his identity came out, everything flipped instantly. Turns out the man she's been linked with is 35-year-old artist Javon Williams. And yeah, that age gap is exactly what sent the internet into full debate mode. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Tia finding love again. It turned into a whole argument about boundaries, age differences, and what people consider acceptable. And you already know how the internet works. If the roles were reversed, most people wouldn't even blink twice. But because it's Tia, she's getting labeled, judged, and analyzed from every angle. At the same time, though, there's another side defending her, saying she's finally free, finally living, and finally choosing herself after spending over 2 decades in one relationship. And that's where it gets complicated, because even Tia's own words don't always line up perfectly. One moment, she called her marriage a success, describing it like a curriculum she graduated from, and then later she admitted there were times she felt like going back. So now everybody's stuck asking, is this closure or is this regret? Because right now she's saying she's in love again, saying she manifested this new chapter, and that's what really flipped the entire narrative online. Now it doesn't feel like a clean breakup story. It feels like a full transition, like she stepped out of one life and into another she never really got to experience before. And when you really break it down, that might actually be what's happening. Tia met Cory when they were young, stayed with him for over 20 years, built a life, raised kids, and created a full foundation together. This wasn't casual at all. This was her entire adult world. She even shared that she lost her virginity to Cory at 25, which changes how people see the whole timeline. Because when you sit with that, Cory wasn't just her husband. He was her first real experience with love, intimacy, and adulthood all at once. So now, watching her step into this new energy and this new relationship, it doesn't just look like moving on. It looks like finally living a life she never got to fully experience before. And somewhere in that, maybe there were parts of herself she never explored. So this new chapter isn't just about love. It's about identity, freedom, and rediscovering who she is. And you can feel it in the way she carries herself now. The confidence is different, the energy is louder, like something is fully shifted inside her. Like that clip she posted vibing to Beyoncé's Deja Vu, just walking, posing, completely in her element, with that caption about maybe always being that woman. And that's the line that really stuck, because now everybody's asking, is this the real Tia or just a version of her that came out after the marriage ended? And depending on who you ask, you'll get two totally different answers. Some say she's glowing and finally free. Others say she's overcompensating or trying to prove something. Then the comparisons start rolling in. Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, Cher, Madonna, like Tia got pulled into a much bigger conversation overnight about age gaps, relationships, and women choosing themselves. At that point, it's no longer just about her and Cory. It becomes a full cultural debate about freedom, judgment, and perception. But while all that noise is happening online, there's still one part of the story people keep circling back to, and that's Cory. Because publicly, he stayed calm, focused on co-parenting, and basically said, if you love your kids, you stay out of the mess.
Kids is like, if you really love your children, you won't get involved in the noise or the mess. And I make sure that I always think about them first. I put myself last. So if you do that, you're gonna avoid the mess, right?
Okay, I love this.
And on the surface, that sounds like a clean, composed way to handle everything. But people just aren't buying that it's really that simple. Because imagine watching your ex, the person you built your entire life with, suddenly step into a whole new version of themselves with somebody younger, moving fast, and possibly even starting over from scratch. Yeah, that's not something everybody just shrugs off and moves past easily. And it gets even heavier when kids are in the picture. Cree and Cairo have already had to adjust to the divorce, and now there's potentially a new man entering that space. And honestly, nobody even knows if Cory has met him yet. So now, if those pregnancy rumors turn out to be even remotely true, that first introduction isn't just going to be awkward, it's going to be unavoidable. And that's exactly why everybody is watching this situation so closely right now. The timeline feels rushed, the emotional weight feels real, and there are still feelings there whether people admit it or not. But even with all of that, Tia is still moving like none of it is slowing her down. Still posting, still smiling, still stepping into this new chapter like there's no turning back. She's even said she's happy but also wants to protect her privacy. And that privacy is starting to show cracks, because when she was asked why her own sister didn't even know about her new reality show, Tia brushed it off like it was nothing.
That a reality show was coming, that you were doing one, so is there a reason why you didn't tell her?
That's normal. I mean, do you tell your brother and your sister everything?
Well, I do.
Yeah, that answer just didn't sit right with a lot of people, because this isn't some distant relative or random situation. That's her twin sister. So now the internet is looking at the whole thing from a different angle. Like, is Tia really just protecting her peace, or is she moving in a way where even the people closest to her are getting left out of the loop? Because you can clearly see she's trying to balance two worlds, giving just enough to keep people engaged, but keeping the real details completely private. And that kind of setup only makes the speculation worse, not better. So now the internet is split. Some people are fully rooting for her, saying she deserves happiness and a fresh start, while others are side-eyeing everything and questioning what's really going on behind the scenes. And right in the middle of all of this is Cory, silent but still somehow pulled into the narrative like he never left. So now the real question isn't just whether Tia moved on, it's what all of this actually means long term. Did she really find what she was missing, or is this just a moment that looks picture perfect right now but hasn't been tested by real life yet? And if those twin rumors ever turn out to be true, then the stakes shift completely. Because at that point, it's no longer just a new relationship. It's a full-on new chapter of life unfolding in real time in front of everybody. And Cory, he wouldn't just be on the sidelines watching anymore. He'd be pulled into a story he didn't choose, but also can't fully escape. So now I gotta ask you, did Tia really level up after that divorce? Or is this one of those situations that looks good on the surface, but still has a lot of unanswered questions underneath?